Hey everyone, I'm Adam. I'm one of the wonderful designers here at Algolia, and I'm here to talk to you about a hack day that, for once, actually went somewhere. Now, as we all know, most hack days can be a bit of a throwaway exercise, and this one wasn't. And the reason for that was just one silly rule. Now, if you'll give me 15 minutes, I'll show you what we did, what we built, and why. And then you can go, steal the whole thing, and use it for your own hack day. So first off, a quick bit about me. As we've also said a few times, I'm Adam, staff product designer here. I've been doing this for about 12 years or so, mostly scale-ups and developer tools. And I ran this hack day, and I also built one of the dumb things you're about to see. And someone on the team actually suggested that I should talk about this. So here we are. You've got them to blame for all of this. Right. So what was the problem? You've all seen this hack day before. Monday morning, everyone's buzzing. Your brains are full of big, clever ideas, and you're ready to go. Then the building part, which is mostly fueled by caffeine, a bit of panic, and a lot of stuff held together with sweat, tears, and wishful thinking. Then the end is in sight. Everyone presents. There's a polite little clap for each demo shown, and afterwards, maybe someone puts a post about it on LinkedIn. And then nothing. The repos get archived, the links rot. A couple of months later, nobody remembers anything about it. And here's the thing. It's not because of the people involved. It's not that the ideas were bad. It was the brief. Now, what I wanted to get out of this hack day was something slightly different. We're a team of designers. We basically live in Figma and not much else. And with the AI code world is moving so fast, it's crazy, and no one can keep up with how fast it's changing. So I wanted to give everyone the space and, frankly, the permission to actually learn to run and ship real code. And the hack day was the perfect excuse for that. So here's how we did it. First of all, it all had to happen in a single day. Calendars were cleared. No meetings, no Slack, no sneaking off to try and do your real job. Second, it had to ship. It had to be real. It had to be a live URL by the end of the day. None of this, here's a rough prototype. If you imagine clicking here, it might work. It has to actually run. That was the terrifying bit for most of us. But that was the whole point. Third, use whatever AI you fancy to get there. Most folks went for Claude Code, Cursor. For me, it didn't matter. However you got there, that's all that mattered. Fourth and finally, the one that actually matters. You are not building for yourself. You're not building for some made-up mystery persona. You're building for one real person. That person is sat right there on that Zoom call with you. Now, that last rule turned out to be the most important one by far, because the moment you ask someone to build for a real person, the whole thing changes. You are not making something to fill 10 minutes in a showcase, and you're not designing for some vague, made-up user either. You have one specific person in mind. You know what they're like, what they waste their time on, what might make them laugh, and also what might make them think, wow, that's super annoyingly accurate to me. And what that means is people care more. They make sharper choices. They pay more attention. The work gets more specific because it has somewhere real to land. And so when you're building for yourself, it's easier to be a bit loose with it. It's half finished, a bit scrappy, or never quite lands. Fair enough. You still learn something, hopefully. But when you're building for someone else, the standards change. You want it to work. You want it to feel thoughtful. You want them to see themselves within that work. That was really the thing I wanted to test. Could one small change make a hack day feel less like a throwaway demo and more like making a small gift for someone else on the team? And it turns out, yes. I mean, the tools mattered, the deadline mattered, the need to ship mattered. But this was the bit that was doing the real heavy lifting. Now, to stop everyone just sort of staring at a blank screen at 9 in the morning, we did two things. First, everyone filled in a little profile about themselves, a few daft prompts, things like what they waste their time on, a tiny tool they wish existed, a theme they loved. This gave whoever was building for them a real human to aim at, not a guess. Second, which I think is the fun part of it all, we pulled names out of a hat for who builds for who. Then we spun a wheel of just completely ridiculous constraints. Things like, it must be designed like it's from 1996. It must get progressively worse the more you use it. It can't have any text, only emojis. The profile gave you the direction. The constraint gives you the challenge and hopefully a bit of a laugh. And that's the whole plan, really. So we'll leave the setup there, skip forward a day, and have a look at what the team actually made. Right, starting off. First up was Kim. Kim built this for James. James' brief leaned heavily into sci-fi, cyberpunk, and anything that feels a bit dramatic. So Kim made him Verdict, which is basically an AI-powered machine for judging your choices. You can throw in a product, an idea, or even a life decision, and it scores it across 3 categories: substance, style, and delusion. The whole thing is framed like some absurdly confident future terminal that sarcastically judges you and your life choices. What I like about this one is that it could have just been a simple input box and some AI output. But instead, Kim has created a truly evil life coach that will make you question your own existence. This next one was mine. I built this for Clem. Clem has a French bulldog called Gaston, who is a snore machine, apparently. And once we knew that, that was the brief. The whole thing practically wrote itself. So I made Gastonagotchi, which is a little Tamagotchi-style game where you're helping Gaston through the pains and struggles of his biggest nightmare, Monday mornings. And you're trying to keep his stats balanced, deciding where he should nap, play, or head out onto the terrace. And the main job is basically stopping him from turning into full goblin mode. It also has different modes, a leaderboard, and far too many sounds. The sound effects constraint was dangerous in my hands, to be honest. I did not treat this like a gentle creative nudge. I treated it like a license to become deeply irritating. So yes, it makes noises constantly, and I don't regret a thing. Now, Shah built this one for me, and it is a very fair reflection of both my taste and the state of my kitchen. What's for Dinner Wastelander is basically a dinner decision tool dressed up like a post-apocalyptic terminal. You feed it whatever random ingredients you have laying around. It helps turn them into something you could plausibly eat while surviving off the collapse of civilization. The whole thing leans fully into that Fallout style world, so it feels less like a recipe helper and more like tactical meal planning for staving off rat poisoning. What I like about this one is that a very normal problem of what can I make with the depressing stuff that I have left in my fridge and give it a completely overcommitted theme. It's weirdly practical, but also prepares me for our inevitable future, nuclear Mad Max future. The next one was Clem built this for Kim, and it's probably the sweetest of the lot. It's called Kim's Happy World, and on the surface, it is a simple memory game. You flip cards, match pairs, and unlock little moments as you go. But the lovely bit is that each pair is tied to something Kim actually loves, And as you progress, the site starts revealing those one by one. So you get things about the airport, Korean references, piano, Eurovision, good food, birthday, and all these little pieces that slowly build up a picture of Kim. There's even a line right at the top that says, small memory game celebrating the little things that Kim loves, which is exactly what it is. I think this one really shows the point of the format to anyone else. It is a cute little game. To Kim, it's something clearly for her. Now, Duncan built this one for Shah, and honestly, it has a ridiculous level of commitment for a one-day project. Betrayal is a hiking app, but instead of presenting trails like a normal, boring person would, it turns them into paranormal case files. So you are not just picking a walk, you're choosing between things like horror at Bear Creek, the scourge of Waterton Canyon, and the beast of Green Mountain. And underneath all of that, it still works like a proper trail app. You get the real details too, like distance, elevation, duration, difficulty, all of that. The homepage opens with active investigations, that 9 case files, which tells you exactly what kind of world you're in. And the bit that really takes it over the top is that Duncan has actually narrated the case files as well. So you can listen along while you go for your hike, which is such an unnecessarily committed thing to do. Exactly why this is brilliant. This is the one that feels most like the real niche product someone would generally use. If you happen to enjoy both hiking and low budget supernatural dread, this is the one for you. Now, last up, this is what James built for Duncan. It initially started out as just a weather app, as if it had been made in 1996. That quickly morphed into a whole operating system. So yeah, the forecast is correct. Technically it works. Emotionally, though, it feels more like being trapped in an old IT suite with about 100 plus Adobe Acrobat Reader updates pending. You've got the grey bevel buttons, system fonts, crusty little dialog boxes, and the very specific Office computer energy that instantly takes 10 years off your life. What's great about this one is that the constraint gave the whole thing its charm. Without it, it might just be a weather app. With it, it becomes a complete joke with a fully committed visual language. And for me, that's the sweet spot of the whole hack day, really. Useful underneath, but completely ridiculous on the top. So, looking back on this, did the hack day actually work? Yeah, I think it did. 3 biggest takeaways I'd say for me from this were fun. You know, the wheel of stupid constraints was far better brief than go and build something cool. It stopped everyone reaching for the obvious and a team just having a laugh and being a team that's actually learning. And second, I'd say was speed. Everybody went from an idea in their head to a live URL in a day. And once you've done that once, the whole thing just stopped being so scary. That was the bit I really wanted, designers shipping real code. And the third thing, which I did not see coming at all, was meaning. And I don't need to take my word for it on this. Here's what Kim had to say. I'm not going to do an impression. The best part for me was we weren't building for the sake of building something, but for building for our teammates. And that's the whole talk, really. The second you're building for a mate, instead of just building for the sake of it, it turns into a fun sort of secret Santa. Except the present isn't under £5, terrible, and accidentally sort of left on purpose, left in a bin on the way home. Now, if I was to do it again, there's 3 things I think I would change. 1, I'd get everyone's deployment sorted before they write a line of code. We lost a few hours to that one and faffing about. 2, push for even smaller ideas. Sort of realize the small ideas were sort of the best ones. And 3, give the team a few hours at the end to chat about it. The best conversations I found happened afterwards. We laughed, we joked, we shared how we came to our solutions, the problems we ran into, and how we overcame them. And we nearly just bolted straight past that because we were just running out of time. Now, if you take one thing home, make it this. If you want your hack days to feel less pointless, don't just throw tools and freedom at people. Give them one real person to build for. Turns out total freedom is a rubbish brief. And having one real person is actually a cracking one. And that's it from me. Hopefully that wasn't too painful or boring. Before you go, everything we built is on this slide, all 6 of them with live links. So go have a play with them. If you'd rather not squint and try and type out some of these URLs, you can scan the QR code up there in the top corner. That'll go to a blog post, which has every link to all the projects. So you've got no excuse, really. And please reach out if you want to know more, and go build something daft. And thank you very much for listening. Yeah, and that's me.
Well, Adam, I have some bad news, which is I think you and I might be the only ones still here because Julie has been posting the links to all of these things into the chat. And I suspect everyone is off running on a trail or doing a memory game or something at this point.
You try and beat my high score on Gastanocci. That's all I'm going to say.
You're getting lots of applause. My face actually hurts from smiling. I didn't actually put this in the Q&A, but I did put it in the chat. I think you all need to open source the wheel of constraints. I think that needs to be available to everyone running a hackathon because they're just so clever and wonderful. I don't know if you release it as a little app or as a PDF or what, but I think we all need a little wheel of constraints on our desk. That's for sure.
Brilliant. Yeah, that'll be the next hack day.
Awesome. Well, I've got a lot of praise for you, but I don't have a lot of questions. So I'm going to just say good job. And I will give it one more second here just to see. I'll take a little sip of my lemonade. I will also say that props to you for keeping with the summer theme. Love the shirt. And I particularly liked, if anyone else caught the profile picture, was perfect. It makes me want to go to the pool right away. And yeah, we're getting some Wheel of Constraints needs to be its own game show. So we're getting a lot of more comments than questions, but people seem to love what you're doing. So thank you very much, Adam. And I will see you around. Looking forward to the next hackathon.